I never imagined I'd be the kind of person to secretly record someone. I believed in honesty, in second chances, in handling things the right way. But sometimes the truth doesn't come out unless you force it into the light. And when it finally did, it didn't just change my life. My name is Emily Carter, and for 5 years, I believed I was building a future with a man who respected me. His name was Jason Miller. He was charming in that effortless way, confident without being arrogant, funny without trying too hard. When we met at a mutual friend's 4th of July party, he made me feel like I was the only person in the room, and for a long time, I thought I was. We moved in together after a year, shared bills, shared routines, shared dreams. I supported him when he switched careers, even helped him prep for interviews late into the night. When he finally landed a high-paying job at a marketing firm, I felt proud, like we had both won. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. At first, it was small. He started coming home late, always with an excuse. Client dinner, team meeting, traffic was insane. I didn't question it. That's what trust looks like, right? Then came the distance. He stopped asking about my day, stopped laughing at my jokes. His phone was always face down, always locked. And every time I walked into the room, he'd subtly adjust the screen like he didn't want me to see. I told myself I was overthinking. I wanted to believe I was overthinking. But deep down, something didn't feel right. One night, I finally asked him, "Jason, is everything okay with us?" He didn't even look up from his phone. "Yeah, you're just being paranoid." That word, paranoid, hit harder than I expected. Because suddenly, I wasn't just questioning him. I was questioning myself. Weeks passed. The tension grew. I started noticing things I couldn't ignore anymore. Charges on our joint account that didn't make sense. Unfamiliar names popping up in his notifications. And that constant emotional distance that felt like living with a stranger. Then one evening, everything changed. I had come home early from work feeling sick. The apartment was quiet, but Jason's car was parked outside. I remember thinking, that's weird. I walked in slowly, my heart already racing for reasons I couldn't explain. And then I heard it. His voice. Laughing. Not the polite, controlled laugh he gave me these days, but a genuine one, warm, intimate. I followed the sound toward the bedroom. The door was slightly open, and in that moment, my world cracked. He wasn't alone. I didn't storm in. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just stood there, frozen, watching the life I thought I had fall apart in complete silence. I stepped back quietly, my hands shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone. And that's when something inside me shifted. Not rage, not even heartbreak. Clarity. I walked out of the apartment without making a sound. That night, I didn't call him. I didn't text. I didn't confront him. Instead, I made a plan, because I knew something important. If I confronted him now, he would lie. And I needed the truth. The next few days, I acted normal. Painfully normal. I smiled. I cooked dinner. I asked about his day. And every time he lied to my face, something inside me hardened. I wasn't just hurt anymore. I was done being disrespected. Then came the opportunity. One night, he started complaining about work, about office politics, about how unfair his boss was being. I listened quietly. Then I said something that changed everything. "Honestly, Jason, you're too smart to play by their rules." He looked at me, curious. "What do you mean?" I shrugged casually. "I mean, you've told me before how things really work there. The shortcuts, the deals, the stuff no one talks about." He hesitated, just for a second, but that was enough. Because I had already set my phone on the table, recording. At first, he was cautious, but then his ego took over, and he started talking about how he manipulated campaign data, about how he took credit for other people's work, about how he bent the rules to close deals that shouldn't have gone through. And then, the worst part, he laughed. "I mean, come on, everyone does it. I'm just better at not getting caught." My stomach dropped. Not because I was surprised, but because hearing it out loud made it real. This wasn't just about cheating anymore. This was about who he really was. And I had it all recorded. The next morning, I packed a bag. When he woke up, I was standing in the living room. "Emily, what's going on?" I looked at him, really looked at him, for the first time in weeks. "I know, Jason." His face went pale. "I don't know what you're—" "Stop." My voice was calm, too calm. "I saw you. Silence. For a moment, I thought he might actually tell the truth. But instead, he sighed. Like I was the inconvenience. Emily, it didn't mean anything. That sentence. That one sentence. 5 years, reduced to nothing. I nodded slowly. Yeah, I said. I figured you'd say that. Then I picked up my phone and hit play. His voice filled the room. Confident, arrogant, careless. Confessing everything. Not just the cheating, but the lies, the manipulation, the fraud. I watched his expression change in real time. Confusion. Then realization. Then fear. Where did you... I recorded you, I said simply. You can't be serious. I am. He ran his hands through his hair, pacing. Emily, listen to me. If this gets out, it will. The words felt heavier than I expected, but also freeing. You're going to ruin my career. I looked at him, my chest tightening, but not with guilt. With something else. Strength. No, I said quietly. You did that yourself. That was the last conversation we ever had. I left that day, blocked his number, started over, and a week later, I sent the recording. Not to be petty, not for revenge, but because the truth matters, especially when someone thinks they're untouchable. His company launched an internal investigation almost immediately. Within days, he was suspended. Within weeks, he was fired. And just like that, the man who thought he was smarter than everyone else had nothing left to hide behind. I wish I could say I felt victorious. But the truth is, I felt something deeper. Relief. Peace. Because for the first time in a long time, I chose myself. I stopped accepting lies. I stopped making excuses for someone who didn't respect me. And I realized something important. Closure doesn't come from them. It comes from you. If this story hit you in any way, if you've ever been lied to, betrayed, or made to feel like you were too much for asking for the truth, remember this. You are not asking for too much. You're asking the wrong person. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes the strongest thing you can do is walk away and never look back. Thank you.